I think that's Joseph.
Joseph, can you hear
Hey,
us?
we got a full face now. There you go.
Sorry, I'm doing it by mobile, so it's a little bit weird.
Okay. Well, I can see you now. I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Where are you? Where are you calling in from?
Manchester, England.
Oh my God! What time is it there?
It's 6:47.
Wow. Okay, it's 10 o'clock and almost 11 o'clock here in California.
Gosh.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Just finished, had breakfast with the family, and told them I was going to do some a Zoom stuff, and doing great. I was talking. I'm retired. I'm semi-retired. Just for the last 2 years, I've been going to conventions, talking to the fans about the show, and just enjoying this part of my life. Again, and the best thing is that since working on the X-Men, from the time I finished the X-Men until about maybe 3 years ago, I kind of lost. I didn't know if people even knew the show. I didn't think they remembered the show until Disney Plus bought it, and suddenly people rediscovered the show, and then Twitter lit up, and then my email lit up, and then we started doing conventions, and it was really nice to find out that people actually liked the show that I directed, and that it's very satisfying because it was my dream job of doing the X-Men. I had been trying to get it on the air since 82, 83, somewhere. I was working for Stanley at Marvel Productions back then. And I also directed the pilot, Pride of the X-Men. Where Wolverine has the Australian accent, where we had great animation, but we had the wrong voice. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, because I watched Pride of X-Men, and to be fair, for what I don't actually reckon it was a bad cartoon. I just think, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, I'm happy with that we got the animated series later on.
Yes.
But as far as the pilot, I thought it was fine. It was. Well, yeah, no.
We tried our best, but the zeitgeist of the entertainment world, it wasn't there yet. The networks. Yeah. We did it as a pilot, and it was only 3 networks: CBS, NBC, ABC, and none of them. What's a mutant? What's an X-Men? We don't like this. We don't understand this. So it just kind of went away. Yeah. But my boss at Marvel, her name was Margaret Loesch. And she went 6 years later, she moved. She became the CEO of Fox Kids. And that's when she called me up and said, we're doing the X-Men, because she had the power to greenlight it. And she's the reason we got it on the air. She got on the X-Men. She got on Batman. She got the Tick. She got Power Rangers. She blew up Fox Kids and made it the #1 network. But mainly for us is that she had the confidence that myself, Will Minio, Rick Holberg, Eric Lewald, that we knew how to do a good show, and she had confidence that we were going to do it. And so, we only had 13 episodes. We didn't have like 5 years. It's like we had 1 year to prove ourselves. And so for me, I just threw in the kitchen sink and just tried to make it the best show that I could. The compromises that we had to make on Pride of the X-Men, we learned the lesson, because when we did the X-Men, they tried to make us put in toys and talking animals and all of the other stuff, and we stopped it. And there were some parts of it that we had to. Instead of asking us, they were telling us, "You're going to do this, you're going to do that." And as a group, all 4 or 5 of us, we said, "Well, we're our own creative team. If you want to do that, we're all quitting right now." And they backed off. And that's how we got the X-Men on the air, because they thought, it's just one and done. They're not listening to us. It's going to be a failure, that kind of stuff. And we just said, no, this is the show. We want to be proud of something with our name on it, especially me. I wanted to make sure that this X-Men was my best second chance to do a good show. And so I just went crazy. For me, the best episode for me was the last episode, because that was my last bite at the apple. And so the final decision, I just put everything into it. There's a scene where Wolverine's fighting the Sentinels in the dark. It goes dark, light, dark, light. I made all that up. It was like, it wasn't in the script. I just started challenging myself to come up with something that people haven't seen yet. And that was one of the things I came up with. The other one, go ahead, sorry.
Something I liked in particular about the show was, and I think the guy that played Gambit had touched upon this as well in the Q&A, it didn't insult children's intelligence. And things like, for example, you had the Friends of Humanity. They actually felt like more of a threat than the actual like supervillains, and because of that whole thing of with people like Graham Creed, where they could indoctrinate hatred, which is more realistic than anything. You see how people can do that through hate groups. It's weird as well, because obviously with the Friends of Humanity, I think they're only in like 6 episodes, but they made that much of an impact. Like, you generally dreaded as much as the X-Men did when they were on. Yeah,
I know, because they're like, they don't have powers, but they're like regular people embodying all the insecurities and anger and resentment, and you can see it outside, and it represented something that was very familiar to a lot of people. And you gotta remember, this is back in the 90s, and now it's relevant today. It's like who knew that was going to come back with such strength? But yeah, it was relevant, and it made it more scary, because it was regular people attacking people because you're different. Oh, I just saw a cat go by.
That's beauty. All right, guys.
So it was good. That was the robots represented the enforcement of that prejudice and anger and not understanding. And it was something that we created so that Wolverine could fight something. We could go after that symbol. But Wolverine can't attack real people on Saturday morning, so the robots were very essential for that.
That was another thing as well that surprised me, because obviously with Wolverine, it was very unconventional in the fact that Wolverine's not something. But if you were saying to people on the kids' TV show, well, he's got claws, stuff like that. He slashes through stuff. But obviously, with that, with the Sentinels, it gave him a perfect time to do that, which you couldn't do with like other villains.
Right. Yeah, because you can't eviscerate people.
I was like,
yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, Christine. Joseph, very nice talking to you. And,
you too.
And I think you said it's nighttime there, so have a nice drink on me.
Thank you. You take care, Larry.
You take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.